let's see if we are actually up and running. Looks like we are. Hello everybody. Just give me a quick second to post an announcement. There we go. Okay. We're back. First bit of racing of 2025 in ALR. And yeah, it's an interesting one. We're at a track where, funnily enough, even though it never gets raced at, it was just raced in the Race of Champions for the actual proper GT. I don't know, kind of reinforces the stereotype that every track that we select, GT copies us, but I don't know about that. Hello, Deco. So, what to expect in this qualifying? Let's go out on track and see who we've got tonight. So, a bunch of new drivers actually are taking part this evening. So for Kavar, we've still got Hollywood, who is out there, and Whipperman is a new driver for Kavar, so he's going to be racing the next couple of weeks for Kavar. He's also in the M6, so sticking with the M6s just like everyone else in Kavar, and there's Latari in the third Kavar. Then for Project Racing United, we've got Kyogen making another race for us. Then we've got Long Chicken, who I think we've seen once or twice, and Baba Yaga, also known as Los Blanco, who is new. He's a new driver for Project Racing United and new to ALR. He raced in the mid-season event in the Radicals. He was pretty quick and also set a really fast time in practice session that we've had. It was in the 56s, so potential for Lobby A. They only had one driver in Lobby A previously who's not racing tonight in this team, so they want to find something to get out of the bottom place in the standings. Then who else we got? We've got Asseldor for Pegasus. Pegasus is serving a qualifying ban, which Max is going to serve. And their third driver today is someone very familiar with ALR, is Turbo Boy, Tier 2 driver. He is in the third Pegasus, so he will have a pretty decent chance of pulling out a good performance, potentially. Then we've got Elian, who doesn't belong here. I don't know why he's in this lobby. I told him to get out. For V2 we got Snipes, we've got Eroticos, and we've got Autoration, who actually quit and then has come back and now is racing again, so don't know what's going on there, but he's hoping to get a better result than the previous couple of races where he actually pulled up in the pits and DNF'd and all that kind of stuff. I think people are just leaving to change the oil and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's the 4 teams that are in this lobby. What the hell? Elliot making his debut. And then, yeah, in the other ones, we actually have a pretty quick lineup for Project Platypus. 2 new drivers for the season, Tobias making his debut, and Mate, who only raced once for Project Platypus last season, and making his first race this season as well. Arix, we have Slim and Keplero, and another new driver called Kukis, I think is how you say it. Who's apparently very fast. Then Aero have Owen making his comeback. I think he's been missing since round 1. Prime Call and L. Ian. And the final team would be Falcon with Dino coming back again, Alessandro, who's actually got pole position last time out, and Ahmed, who's been pretty solid in the top 5 all season long for them. So I think everyone's actually in the lobby already, so that's pretty good. We'll start bang on time then with qualifying. But yeah, my predictions, just quickly before we start. I think Baba Yaga is going to be in lobby A. I think one of the Kavar boys will be in lobby A. I'm probably going to go with Hollywood. Asseldor, lobby A. Turbo Boy, lobby A. Actually, I feel like this is quite a quick group. maybe we'll see quite a big swap around of drivers in the switchover period. Well, let's see. There's a lot of very quick guys here. There's some very quick cars in a straight line as well, like the 2.4Cs for the V2 boys. They could spring a surprise as well. Some of these other cars are not so good in a straight line. Turbo Boy and the Gen X very quick in a straight line, so that'll be pretty good, I reckon. Right, I'm going to say that we are starting soon. Renaults might struggle a little bit there. Eroticos, is he the only Renault actually? Oh, and Long Chicken. And Kaioken as well. 3 Renaults in this qualifying session, dear. Okay, let's start. Start qualifying. Oh, he's in 56s in the Porsche, Baba Yaga, so he's definitely got pretty good pace. He's got a driver ranking of A, so let's see who's going to be first out the pits. It's not the same pit lane as the Tokyo track that we usually race at in ALR. I think it's south, counterclockwise. This one is on the pit straight, so there's no short run into the first lap. Looks like Turbo Boy is the first out of the pits. Bit of a drag race between Asador and Auto. I think maybe they're going to be trying to play the slipstream game, and this might be actually massive in qualifying. If teams are able to give each other quite a hefty bump draft, or several bump drafts, down this incredibly long pit straight, it's going to gain you a lot of time. I did see some people practicing it in the lobby a bit earlier on, and yeah, they gained like 0.4 of a second on that pit straight. But then you do have to complete the lap very close to each other, so it does come with its perils. Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna go. We'll have to wait and see what happens with these two Pegasus boys. Otto is gonna probably try and stick in the slipstream a little bit here to get some benefit as well, even though he's not around his own teammates. Boy looking really quick around some of these corners. And the other thing, which I was assuming that this would just be a very low downforce aero track, but from what I've heard, people are going to be running higher downforce for this section that they're going through right now, which is really difficult to do if you take too much aero off. So it's trying to find that right balance between the really quick southern part of the track and just the one straight line that is the entirety of the northern part. So this is the final corner on the track, and Asador looks a little bit too far away to be playing any bump drafting games. Let's just go through and see if anyone else is pretty close. We've got Log Chicken and Baba Yaga fairly close together. Potentially enough for a bump draft into turn 1. Baba Yaga is the guy who has the best chance out of this team in getting into Lobby A. Log Chicken and Kyokin have had a few goes and not been able to do it just yet. And he'll be giving his teammate a nice little slipstream, but no opportunities for the bump draft into turn 1 for this Cup pairing. What about Latari? Actually, Otto Ration's really closing into Latari. He might end up giving a rival a bump draft at this rate. Oh dear, what's happening? No, he backs out of it. He doesn't want to give the bump draft. Okay, and Snipes isn't too far behind. That's going to be an interesting lap for the three of them because they're very close together. Whipperman all on his own, Kava all on his own, Kaioken as well, and then we got Max serving Pegasus' quali-ban. So let's stick with Turbo Boy. His very first eSports qualifying lap looks a little bit wide on that corner. Let's see, ride on board and see how he navigates some of these corners. Like I said, this is the section of the track where higher downforce will really help. Looks like that car's got plenty of grip on it. What we're looking for, I think a 56, a 1 minute 56 would guarantee a Lobby A appearance tonight. So that's what they really realistically have to be aiming for here. So the last little hairpin, let's see how he navigates this. Seen some drivers really cutting that first corner. Looks like Turbo Boy went a little bit deep there. It was a bit late to get on the throttle, so that might compromise him all the way down this straight as we finish the lap and start lap 2. We're already 4 minutes in. There's not going to be much opportunity for pitting because these laps are incredibly long. We've only got 28 laps in the feature race. 58.3 needs to find a lot. Asseldor didn't do well either. Looks like a 57.2 from Otto. Very solid time, which was beaten by Baba Yaga, who is now the quickest with a 57.1. So we're getting close to that magic 56 mark. Then we've got some slower times. Orotico's outside the 2 minutes. Whipperman up into 4th place, just being overtaken by his teammate Hollywood. Both of them in the low 57. So really good opening for Autoration here. Looks like he's ahead of Asseldor. Maybe he's overtaken him. I'm not too sure. But this is bad for all of them because they're starting to bunch together a little bit now. So Turbo Boy's time is only good enough for 6th now that everyone has pretty much finished the lap, apart from Kaioken. Let's ride on board with him in the Renault, which we know doesn't have great top speed. But he does have that 7th gear, so we're saving a lot of fuel. He's gone up into P6 with a 58 flat. So, the top 2 are guaranteed an appearance in Lobby A. At the moment, those are Baba Yaga and Autoration. Otto is only half a tenth up on Hollywood, and then there's a quarter of a second gap between Hollywood and his teammate who's making his debut. A bit of a lag there for Hollywood. Orotico's going very slowly. He's probably trying to find a little bit of space to actually set a solid lap. So let's see. I think we might want to go back on board with Turbo Boy, who's going to be just about to finish his 2nd lap. Let's see if he can be up on his time. This is the Gen X, which is great in a straight line, potentially the best in the field today. He's half a second up on his time, so that's going to shoot him right up. I think he still needs to be finding a bit more time than that, though. Let's see what he can do on this run. Remember, he was pretty deep, into that final corner on his first flying lap, so potentially got some more time to find here on the run as we approach the finish line. He's gone up into 6th place, and he is 4 tenths quicker than his previous time, but still in the high 57s. He's got half a second at least that he needs to find. Latari at 56.6. That is an insane time. He's got provisional pole by half a second. I think that is Lobby A confirmed for Latari. I think that might be his 2nd appearance in Lobby A. Just missed out last week. Baba Yaga is going quicker again as we head into turn 1 for him. Everyone seems to have finished their 2nd laps now. And yeah, not many people actually improved that time around. We've got Hollywood P4, Whipperman P5. Turbo Boy did improve to 6. Kaioken is just about to finish his 2nd lap now. So his first lap was actually fairly decent, P7. The 7th geared Renault does improve. He actually overtakes Turbo Boy and up into 6th place with a 57.7. Whipperman's gone into the pits. He's going to be setting one more lap, so that's how he's elected to do that. Maybe he knew that that lap that he was on wasn't a good one. Excuse me. Right, looks like Turbo Boy's still at the head of the field, so he's getting plenty of airtime here. Otto and Asseldor really ruining each other's qualifying sessions by the looks of things. Pretty good for Otto. He's sat in P3. It looks like he's going to be potentially going into Lobby A for the first time ever. Didn't manage to do it in any of the races last season. It looks like he went off at the final corner though, which might mean that he's not going to be able to improve any of his times. He's got Turbo Boy P7 coming up to the finish line now. He's going to have maybe 2 more laps left, but his tyres, look how they are starting to wear already. They're not going to be at their grippiest. He does improve, but only very slightly. Asseldor improves as well, actually overtakes him. Remember, Asseldor's never failed to get into Lobby A, but he does need to find more because he's never been a second off of the pole time either. So that is not too good, but he has been stuck behind Autoration for quite a long time. I have a feeling, well actually, he's lost 3 tenths of a second on this lap because he had the slipstream of Otto, but he should be able to start to gain a bit of time in the infield section. someone's pulled right at the back. I'm not sure what's going on at the hairpin. Yeah, let's stick with Asador, because he is our driver who we've never failed to see in Lobby A, and he's at risk at the moment. He's P6, 1 second off the Lobby B pace. The Lobby A pace is BX, and he is on a 56 flat. So that's 6/10 better than what Latari's done. So that shows how good Latari's lap is actually. Only 6/10 off of BX Royal of all people. Ooh, that was a really good corner. Very smooth by Asador. He's actually starting to catch Turbo Boy pretty quickly here. I don't know if maybe they're thinking of playing a team game. Oh, a little bit wide there for Asador. Clips the wall as well. Now you see Turbo Boy just starting to drive away, create a bit of distance between himself and his teammate as we come into the final corner. The hairpin, very tricky. And both of them nail their apex on entry. Asador loses it, and that is his qualifying well and truly over. He's probably got damage as well. We've only got 15 seconds until qualifying ends. Very unfortunate for Turbo Boy there. So is this an improvement? It's his last chance. Asador does. He goes up into P3 with a 57.1. That is potentially enough. It's ahead of Hollywood. It's ahead of Autoration. Let's ride on board with Hollywood. See if he can improve at all. Drivers going across the finish line now don't look like they're improving on their times. Can Hollywood pop up? He's half a second off at the moment. He does improve, but only by 0.021 of a second. The last one across the line is not Autoration, it's actually going to be Whipperman, so let's stick up on Whipperman. Orotikos improves his time, but he's still in the 58, so that is not enough for Lobby A. Orotikos will be joining us in Lobby B for the race. That was a good entry into the hairpin. A little bit late and wobbly on the exit. We've only got 3 more drivers. Otto is one of them. He was up in second after the first round of laps. Can he improve at all here? Kaioken does a 57.4, followed by Otto with a 57.2. Both of them improve into the top 6, knocking Whipperman down. What can he respond with? He does improve himself, and it's not enough to improve in positions though. So that was exciting. So we've got Latari in P1, followed by Baba Yaga, Asador in third. So Baba Yaga and Latari off to Lobby A already. Asador's in third. He should be enough with a 57.1. I'm going to say Hollywood with a 57.1. We might be seeing him a 57.2 for Auto as well. It's all very close here. 57.4 for Kaioken. Yeah, so 6th down, I think, guaranteed for Lobby B. Turbo Boy will be kicking himself because he was pretty good at the start of that qualifying session. Excuse me. Right, so I'm going to go into my trusty spreadsheet now and start putting in the times, because Turbo Boy's in the pits, so we've got a long time to wait before everything times out. Okay, so Latari, 56.627. Good qualifying for Cavar, 2 in the top 4. Autoration's best qualifying of the season, I reckon, as well. Okay, finally, I can actually go into the proper result screen. Let's see. So, Autoration, yep. And then we had Kaioken, fairly solid qualifying once again for Kaioken. The second placed Project Racing United team member, 476. Then we got Turbo Boy, 57.936. Okay, next page, Eroticos. 87. Bit of a disappointing one for Snipes in the 59s. Bloody hell. And then Long Chicken as well in the 59s. These guys are very off the pace tonight. And then we've got Max. Okay, now these guys are on the final lap, so we're just gonna have to wait a moment for Lobby A to finish the qualifying. They are all on the final laps now, by the looks of it. I think there's just one more driver to finish. So let me just... Let me just find his lobby, and then we can properly see with a good screen. There we go. Right, so pole position was actually a 55.979 from Tobias. That's amazing. I didn't expect to see anyone in the 55s. So 7/10 quicker than our pole position time. That is insanity. And BX Royal in second, Dino in third. Okay. Owen 2 seconds off. Okay, we might be seeing Owen in Lobby B for the first time ever. Yes, a 58.1 would put him behind Turbo Boy. Okay, we're going to have an exciting Lobby B with Owen in it. Right, we need these results screens. It looks like it's coming up now. So BX 56.017. Wow. 56.105 for Dino. 56.126 for Ahmed. Wow, these are really close. And then we got Mate 56.2. Wow, so all three Project Platypus boys are in the top 5. Very solid. And then the highest Arix guys in P6. Elian pretty solid qualifying, 56.777. Keplero 56.948. Okay, I need to find when he quickly went across to... There we go. I'll only be maximum 2 minutes, that's what I'm going to say. Alessandro really disappointing, 57.117, might be on the bubble. Slim just behind him, 57.144. Prime Call 57.411. I think that's Lobby B, unfortunately, and then 58.108. Oh no, Whipperman. What did Whipperman set? Where's Whipperman? 57.476. Okay, let's see. Who made it and who didn't? I actually predicted loads of people to make it. So the last person in Lobby A is Hollywood. Autoration has pole position for Lobby B. He just misses out once again with a 57.2. Prime Call lines up next to him, then Kyokan, Whipperman, Turbo Boy, Owen, Erotica, Snipes, Long Chicken, and Max in Lobby B. For Lobby A, Latari actually qualified P7. He was Lobby, and Los Blancos in the top 10. He's P9. We got Asseldor again in Lobby A, never fails to qualify for it in P12. Then we have Slim 13th, Hollywood 14th. Now let me just share this with the league so everyone knows where they need to go in the lobbies. Hold on. Yeah, that's right. Okay, here we go. go. Okay, it has been sent. So let's see who sorts themselves where, and then I will reset. We can potentially get rain in this as well, which is pretty exciting. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. So let's see who we've got. We got Max, Long Chicken, Snipes, Eroticos, Turbo Boy, Whipperman, Kogan, Auto. Astlador needs to get out, and we need to get Owen in here. And Baba Yaga as well. So here comes Owen. That means missing one more person. Prime call, potentially. Right, while they do that, I am going to... yeah, end the race. Save the replay, and now... edit the event settings. So 28. Custom weather, midnight, times 1. Completely random weather for tonight. Grid start. Grid order set by host. Okay, starting grid. We need to wait for everyone to enter. Oh, lobby A has rain. Okay, that's going to be interesting. That's going to change everything. Everyone will probably want to be whacking the downforce settings up a little bit there. Need Max to enter. Right, I'll set the grid for everyone. Oh, he's gone in. Right, let's do it. So Auto on pole position, prime call. That might be his best qualifying, P2 in lobby B. Kaioken, that's pretty solid, P3 for him. That's a pretty high starting position. Whiffman 4th on his debut. Turbo Boy 5th on his debut. Then we got Owen. Then we've got Eroticos in 7th. Snipes is 8th. Long Chicken is 9th. And Max is 10th. So let me just have a quick look at the settings. 28 laps, which is going to be quite a short one compared to other races because we go on distance, and so much of this track is very fast that, yeah, 28 laps, less than 2 minutes a lap, so we'll be done in under an hour, that's for sure. 6 litres a second, 2 times 2 times, looks pretty good. So let's go to starting soon. Let's see what Auto can do for pole position. I was through 3/10 off in my cut-off time. I predicted a 56.8, but it was actually a 57.2 as the cut-off. Okay, let's get started. Start race. Right, good luck everyone who is watching. Let's get the stream back up on here. Right. And let's see as well what everyone's going to be starting on. Mediums for Auto, softs for Prime Call, softs for Kaioken, and mediums for Whipperman, softs for Turbo Boy. And Owen, Eroticos, looks like everyone else is on the soft, so it'll be interesting to see what Auto can do on this standing start. 5 lights on. First race of 2025 is up and running. Auto gets a fantastic start. Looks like Prime Call really bogged down there and is under a little bit of pressure from Kaioken and Whipperman, but Auto looking very comfortable on this run down to turn 1, almost breaking the slipstream. Everyone bunched together incredibly closely behind. We might see some excitement into turn 1. Everyone is super close together, taking advantage of the slipstream. Kaioken tried to look for an opening. He's probably not going to get it. They are slowly catching Auto with the slipstream and overspeed. Everyone, someone was in the wall there. Looks like Prime Call Kaioken make it through unscathed with Snipes in P4 now. Owen is 6th, Long Chicken up into 7th, Max up into 8th already, Eroticos in the wars, and it looks like it was Turbo Boy who had a spin. But up front, it looks like Kaioken is really putting some pressure on Prime Call as we head through the fast section, which should really benefit the Renault. He is in the dirty air, and he is on the softs, as is Prime Call, which is why he's himself is actually closing in a little bit on Auto. Prime Call could be challenging for the lead of the race fairly soon. These two were having a lot of battles. No, they weren't. I thought they were both in the same tier last season. They weren't. They both were excelling in their own individual tiers, though, and have started pretty strongly here. And it looks like the top 3 with Kaioken staying pretty close. Prime Call trying to go around the outside. He's going to have to do it the long way around. Kaioken going pretty deep into that corner as well. Auto keeps the position for now, but Prime Call is going to have a lot of slipstream as we finally come towards the end of the opening lap. The straight is 3 kilometers long, by the way, so I would be amazed if Prime Call didn't get the overtake done. So first lap finally done. Auto maintained the lead for the opening lap. It looks like he's about to lose it now, and he's not defending into the corner. Prime Call's actually gotten fully ahead long before the corner anyway, so Auto might be able to have a look up the inside if Prime Call gives him the space to. Looks like Prime Call is defending a little bit. Auto having a little look in, but remember Auto's on the slower tyres, and Kaioken in there for company as well. There's big contacts, and Kaioken kind of pushed himself past Auto. This is a bit of a disaster for Auto. Now Snipes all over the back of Auto as well. Kaioken, is he backing off? Let's see if he's going to let Auto past. I think he is. He knew that he was in the wrong. That's some really good sportsmanship, but he actually loses 3 positions in doing so. So that is just as well and truly served, because Owen and Snipes just slipped on through as well. Owen in the M6 and Snipes in the Alfa Romeo. So we got a V2 and Aero are locking out the top 4 positions in this race at the moment. Snipes and Owen both on the soft tyres, so might be overtaking Auto fairly quickly. That was a lot of time that Snipes eked into Auto's time right there. You can see him having a lot better grip through these corners. It's absolutely teeming down in Lobby A. I can't wait to watch that later. But anyway, let's focus on this because we've got some exciting battles. Owen looking like he wants to have a move on both of them. He completely misses his braking point, goes incredibly deep. Snipes gets through, takes P2. Auto is being bullied all over the place here. Owen got that incredibly wrong. Kaioken gets past Auto, but he's still a bit down, and Owen is now lifting to let them both pass. So yeah, Owen loses 2 positions from that. Pretty bad move there, to be honest. Now Auto's gonna potentially get past Kaioken again. Auto not at fault for anything that's happened to him so far in this race, but he is at least gonna get back into a podium position. And yeah, great news for Prime Call that all this has been happening. Oh, Auto getting a bump draft as well. This is at a bad time. He's gonna try and overtake his teammate Snipes by the looks of things. Side by side. Team game, remember that? Oh, Kaioken just hit Snipes into the wall. Snipes has completely done a 180, and it's going to take a little bit of time for him to get back up to speed. He's out of the points as well. Absolute disaster there, at no fault of his. That was pretty shoddy. Max up to 5th, so he's already overtaken 5 drivers after serving his quali ban. Trying to get a good result for Pegasus. Owen 5 seconds off of his teammate at the moment. Kaoken now challenging Auto Ration a little bit. Kaoken's definitely going to be in the stewards, I think, with some of these moves that have happened so far in this race. We're only on lap 3 as well. Auto really scruffy, he's lost a lot of time, and there's a bit of contact. Auto's a bit wide, and Kaoken's going to take the position once again. So Kaoken up into P2 somehow. Owen lurking in the background, waiting for his opportunity to pounce. I think it's going to come at the hairpin. So let's ride on board with Owen and see what happens in this braking zone. This is where he got it so badly wrong on the previous lap, and he thinks better of it, a bit more cautious this time, and he stays in P4, really tight on the exit. Actually allows him to pull alongside Auto, and he's going to have the overspeed in the slipstream of Auto on this run. Auto's going to benefit a little bit from Kaoken, but he's 7/10 down, so it's not going to help that much unless Owen and Auto decide to work together here and do a bit of bump drafting. If Owen doesn't want to get the overtake done, he's thinking about the race win, is Owen. He's very highly ranked in the ALR rankings, and this qualifying in Lobby B is going to cause him to plummet, to be honest, but he can rectify things by at least finishing in P1. They're both trying to overtake Kaoken with the bump draft, and it's worked out really well for both of them. Kaoken absolutely caught with his pants down there, and now Owen potentially challenging for the position on Auto as well. Auto pretty decent on the brakes there, and Owen keeps the position on Kaoken as well. He looks pretty quick through turn 1. Now they're side by side again. Now what can they do? Looks like we're 3 wide actually. So Auto must be slow out of there. Owen still ahead of Kaoken comfortably. Now he's trying to get past Auto. It is an Aero GT 1-2. Owen gets the move done. That is a great bit of driving there from Owen to work his way through the pack so quickly. We're on lap 4. He's got another 24 and a bit laps to try and catch his teammate, but the positions don't really matter, essentially, as long as you want to. That is a good truckload of points for Aero GT, but we've seen drivers with these kind of advantages in Lobby B a few times, and it go horribly wrong for them. So a long way to go, guys. 5-second lead on Owen. Owen's already built a second on Auto, who himself is half a second ahead of Kaoken. Catching up to them now is Max. Max is also on the softs, as well as Whipperman, the other Cavar driver. The only one not in Lobby A, actually, so they're on for some pretty decent points. Cavar and Aero GT and Pegasus are all very close together in the standing, so Whipperman getting ahead of Max at some point in this race would be preferential. There is the the DNF once again from Snipes. It's a Project Platypus 1, 2, 3 in Lobby A. That's astounding. They've really started the year off with a bang so far. Here comes Whipperman though. He's got the slipstream on Max. He actually... Oh, that was an accidental slipstream. What's happening a bit further up? Kaoken and challenging Auto Ration once again. Auto's doing really well on these medium tyres. He's still mixing it with the front runners in this race. He just hits the wall there. A little bit out of position, and that was a fair move from... fair overtake there, fair and square, but... Like I said, it's not the end of the world for Auto. He's on the medium tyres. He doesn't have to use the medium tyres again for the rest of the race if he doesn't want to. Everyone else will have to, and he's only 7 seconds off the lead at the moment. So the potential's there for him to get some pretty decent and easy overtakes on the cars ahead. If he can stick with Kaoken's slipstream and stick within that 1 second, he'll catch up to him, potentially overtake him by the end of the straight. So I think a podium is still a decent shout for Auto, but maybe he has to start worrying a little bit about Max behind him, because Max has actually left Whipperman a little bit on this lap and caught up to Auto. He might have a go at the hairpin here. He's got the speed. Is he going to be able to outbrake Otto? No, he slots in back behind. It looks like he braked really early for the corner, maybe thinking about the exit. No, instead he goes wide around the whole hairpin. That's going to cost him a lot of time. This is going to open the door for Whipperman to get a move done on Max. This is BMW versus Nissan. Both of them pretty similar top speeds. I think the BMW is slightly better in 6th gear, and he's got some really good slipstream. He's closing in. He's definitely going to be able to try a move, because Max is not close enough to Otto here after going too deep. Now, they do the slipstream actually. They want to stay close. This is really good for Whipperman as well. Whipperman on the mediums. Forgot to mention, he was the only other one, I think, apart from Otto, to be this high up at the start on the mediums. So he's still in with a shout of a really good result himself. Turbo Boy with the fastest lap at 58 flat. He's worked his way back up into 8th, only 1 second behind Eroticos. So he's nearly in the points once again after his spin. Long Chicken, 15 seconds off the lead as well. He's actually not that far back. So the whole grid is still fairly close together. Anyone could realistically score points, because I have a feeling that some of these guys are going to end up in the wall once or twice. No major mistakes for a few laps. Koken looks like he's starting to struggle. Oh, Otto's in the wall. Let's see if Max can take advantage of this. The next corner just comes a little bit too quickly for Max, and it lets Otto off the hook. Otto's got a lot of damage though. He's going to be backing up everybody here. Whipperman is in the mix as well. He'll be wondering why everyone's going so slow, but this happened at the perfect part of the track for Otto really to get a bit of damage, because overtaking is so difficult. Looks like they're going to finally get it now that we're on a bit of a higher speed part of the track. Otto going defensive into the hairpin. Whipperman going very deep, maybe thinking about a better exit. Manages to get nice on the throttle early. He might be able to trouble Otto. Otto's got some good slipstream himself from Max though. Max only 0.3 of a second up. Otto might be able to get P4 back potentially in that Alfa Romeo, which has a very good engine in it. Oh, Whipperman's come into the pits. So early into the pits for Whipperman. I'm assuming he's doing this. Confirms the 2-stop for him. This is going to be interesting to see what he does. Let's rejoin Max and Otto, because we had a bit of a battle on our hands there. Max thinking about a move. He's still got a bit of time before the breaking point, and they're still side by side as we head into turn 1. Otto looks like he's going to box that position off for now, unless Max can get a cut back. There is a bit of contact once again. Otto being bullied out of that position by Pegasus. So Turbo Boy is up in the points now, and he's only maybe 2 seconds away from 4th place as it stands, because these guys can't stop battling. Otto going for a move again, and oh, he hits the wall again. Max keeps the position for now. And it's all settled down a little bit. Let's see what the gap is to the front. Owen is catching Prime Call. The gap was 5. Now it's only 3.7. Kelkin's found himself in a bit of no man's land here after having to battle for so much of that first stint. Max as well. Let's see if anyone's going to come into the pits. I don't think it's early enough for people to come into the pits, especially the guys on the soft tyres. How much fuel did Whipperman put in? He put in about 60%. So yeah, definite 2-stopper there. Looks like Kaioken is only 2.6 off the back of Owen, so he's doing really well. His fuel is in the red though. Everyone's fuel's in the red now. They've just ticked over into the red. So 58.4, that's what he's lapping as. Well, how's Max doing? Otto's come into the pits to try and cover off Whipperman. So let's join Whipperman as he's coming out of the final corner now. This is his outlap. He's got a full tank of fuel. It's all going to depend on how much fuel Otto and Turbo Boy put in, I reckon. So let's see how much these guys put in. They're definitely all 2-stopping, including Long Chicken as well. 73%, so that's more for Otto. and a lot more for Turbo Boy. He's on 87, so Whipperman comfortably keeps that position, and Long Chicken actually jumps Turbo Boy in the pits because he puts in less fuel. He's on mediums, Turbo Boy's on mediums, Autoration's on the softs now, as is Whipperman, because these were the two that started on the medium tyres. So it's working out pretty well, especially for Whipperman, who has a 3.4 second gap on Auto. He's still got a lot of clear air, 23 seconds to Eroticos, who hasn't made his pit stop yet. I think it might have to be this lap, but is he gonna hit the wall? And he's completely lost it. Oh, what bad timing that I switched to him just when that happened. Oh dear. Oh dear. Eroticos is going to be down in 9th after his pit stop, which I think is coming fairly soon. Max could potentially do one more lap. Kaioken's going to have to come in. He's really revving out the Renault, which is meant to have really good fuel. But he's, I guess everyone else is saving and he might not be. Primecol could probably do one more lap as well, but I think Owen might be in this time, which is a great opportunity for an undercut if you can get a good outlap on those mediums. Primecol, yeah, definitely continuing on. Owen is in the pit lane lines. He's coming in. Kaioken's coming in as well. Looks like Max is coming in. Putting that line a bit fine. I don't know when the pit entry... Oh no, he's carried on, that's why. Never mind. And Eroticos, who we just saw had a spin, he's going to be coming in as well. So let's stick with Whipperman, who's actually 4.5 ahead of Autoration now. So he's absolutely on fire at the moment in his M6. He might be able to get the jump on quite a few cars here. Owen's going for 100% fuel. That's insane. So Whipperman... Is he going to be able to come out in front of Owen? Owen's out, but he has absolutely no speed. He's going to get overtaken by Whipperman. So this is an interesting strategy. Is he trying the one stop on the mediums for the rest of the race? He's lost track position to Kaioken and to Whipperman there. So Kaioken's actually 3.7 ahead of Whipperman, both on fairly similar tyres as well. So this is working out really well at this stage of the race for Kaioken for getting a really solid result. We've still got Max and Primecol trying to last one extra lap. I have a feeling if Owen's gone for the one stop, Primecol is going to be doing that as well. But Primecol managed to eke out an extra lap on the first stint, so it's going to benefit him a little bit more on the second, because we know that the Nissan has a better tank than the M6. So, looks like Turbo Boy got past Long Chicken fairly easily. Eroticos down in last position after his spin. This surely is going to be the time for the pit stop for Primecol. So the question is he going to be behind Whipperman? Because Whipperman has a 3-second lead on Owen already. That's crazy. Owen must have had a little issue somewhere. He's absolutely on fire, is Whipperman at this stage. Primecol into the pits. Let's see if Max follows him. Max 9.8 seconds down on Primecol. It's quite a big gap. I think it shows how good Primecol's first stint was. So let's see who is going to be the leader of the race when this all pans out. Is it going to be Kaioken, who has to make an extra stop? Is Primecol going to... He's gonna two-stop is Primecol, so he's out on the mediums. Kaioken's out on the soft, so Kaioken has to finish on the mediums. And Primecol is going to be comfortably in P1, but he's going to be slow down this pit straight. You can't forget about that. Max out in P3, but I think he's going to be overtaken by Whipperman. We were saying this was an important battle, and that is advantage Whipperman. Max out on the mediums and Whipperman on the soft, so he's got a great chance here to build up a huge gap on Max, as he only has to run soft for the rest of the race. Owen in P5 is 1.8 behind Max. He's actually getting caught a bit by Autoration now. He's dropped 10.5 behind Primecol. He was 3.7 back before, so we'll have to see how he manages this fuel tank and everything that goes with trying the one stop. Yeah, I'm not sure if it was necessary to guarantee the 1-2, try the one stop. An unnecessary gamble, I think, but Owen's got the pace to pull it off, to be fair. He should be winning this lobby, realistically. The man's never failed to qualify for Lobby A, and has always had pretty solid top 6 results in Lobby A as well. So to just be 5th in Lobby B right now, well, he's net P1 after the pit stops, but he's potentially losing time here, especially at the end of the race when his tyres are going to be shot and he's going to be potentially fuel saving. We'll have to wait to see what happens. Any close battles. Primecall's got a 4.3 second lead. I'm expecting that to come down pretty solidly during this stint because Kauken's on the softs. Whipperman's got a good chance to close in on Primecall as well. Really, he's got to find 6 seconds in this stint, and then it'll be a shootout on softs between Primecall and Whipperman towards the end, if that's how it ends up playing out. Max potentially going to have Owen for company soon, both of them on the mediums, but Max has half a tank less fuel, which will help him a bit on the straights. Got Auto and Turbo Boy about to join the action as well. Flat is actually the fastest lap of the race, which is pretty slow. We do have wind switched on for the race though, which is part of the reason for that. I have a feeling we're not going to see any rain anytime soon, but we've got a lot of weather slots still to come, so we could see sprinkling of rain before the end of the race to spice things up. But at the moment it looks fairly decent for Owen. He's not dropped any more time on Primecall, both of them on the mediums. He is dropping time to the soft runners in P3 and P4 though. Kauken's closed the gap now to just 4 seconds. Last lap of 59.1. Can be doing a lot better than that. 59 flat for Whipperman as well. So interesting. Maybe they are fuel saving a little bit. Or they're just not as fast in race trim as they were in quali. Having said that, Kauken is 0.6 up on his best time, so this would be a fastest lap of the race if he avoids losing any time in this final sector. Whipperman closing in on him as well. So the gap down to 2.7. That's crazy. He's purple by 0.3 of a second. Now this is where the Renault's going to struggle, so he might lose all 3 of those tenths. He is losing time to Primecall on this straight now. He's going to lose a few tenths by turn 1, that's for sure. He doesn't get fastest lap, he misses out by half a tenth by the looks of things. Whipperman in the 58s, Max in the 59s, Owen in the 58s. So Owen should be able to get past Max fairly soon, and he needs to in order to manage his pace because he's still less than 10 seconds off of P1. So I'd say advantage Owen at the moment. He's showing good pace on those mediums. Auto in the 59s on the softs. We know he can do better than that. Turbo Boy as well in the 59, so he's had a bit of an issue. I think a top 5 is still possible for Turbo. He's struggling on those mediums. Some people are going to have to finish on the softs, including Kauken, who's going to be the big loser in the final stint, I reckon. He's lost a bit of time to Primecall now as well, so he's been in the wars on this lap. Whipperman only 1.2 behind, and Owen 1.5 behind Max still, so let's ride on board with Whipperman, see how he is doing on his debut in ALR. Fairly similar lines there to Kauken, both of them on identical strategies today. The medium, soft, soft. And if you can get into below 1.2, he'll start feeling the benefit. But Kauken just got a much better exit, extended his lead by about 0.3 of a second there. So Whipperman's going to probably start to close the gap now, but he's probably not going to feel any benefit of the slipstream, despite being able to see Kauken there in front of him. So a poor final corner has ruined his chances of challenging for the lead. Owen still just outside the slipstream range from Max, maybe just about to enter it now. Let's see if he starts gaining some time. Well, actually he will, because we're going to start going downhill very shortly. The Nissan, I think, struggles to get into the 290 as we go down the hill. Let's just see what his time, his kilometers per hour does. Yeah, 286. Not the best that I've seen. There is a slight headwind though, so that's going to explain some of that. A little bit sloppy there, loses a bit of time to Max again. Whipperman 1.6 behind. You can't actually see Kyoka now around some of these corners. Alteration's actually only a second behind Owen now. He's going purple as well. His tyres are starting to wear a little bit. That might be a little bit of a cause for concern. Especially that rear left. I would be a bit unhappy with that. It is MR, he hits the wall. He'll lose some time there. 2/10. A little bit sloppy again through the next corner. So consistency seems to be a bit of an issue for some of these guys. We're seeing some grazes with the walls, little mistakes that you'd kind of miss if you were just looking at the track map, for example. But yeah, it seems to be happening quite often. Must be happening with Turbo Boy as well, because he's dropped to 3.6 behind, and you can see he's got damage on his car as well. Fortunately for him, he's got 15 seconds on Long Chicken, who is still himself 5 seconds ahead of Eroticos. So the gap at the front now. Prime Call has 4.5 second lead over Kyokin, who is still comfortably ahead of Whipperman, whose tyres are starting to wear quite a lot at this point. He's 1.5 off Kyokin. This might start to come back to Max a little bit. He's 3.6 behind, but his tyres are still fairly fresh here. More fresh than Owen, who's yeah, I don't know what he's going to do for strategy. I'm not sure if he can make it to the end of the race. I don't think he's got enough fuel, you know. But if he does have to come in, he has to put in less fuel because he's already at 100%. So that would mean he'd get the jump on Max and potentially Whipperman as well, and be able to charge towards Kyokin on the medium tyres and get his P2 back. Hard way of doing it if that ends up being what happens, but I think I'd recommend that. If I was, if they could hear me, which they probably can't. So yeah, this is looking good for Prime Call's first eSports victory, that's for sure. His lead is starting to get narrowed on this lap, so maybe he's having a bit of a bad lap. Kyokin now 3.8 behind. Kyokin's raced, I think, every single round for Project Racing United. Always been in Lobby B, but usually gets good results in the race. I think he's one of those drivers who has his race pace sorted, but his quali pace is something to be worked on. And we know eSports quali pace is super important, more important than in Monday League anyway, because if you mess up quali, you can't redeem yourself in Lobby A and beat drivers that you might actually be quicker than in the race pace. So it's a fine balance in eSports, that's for sure. So he actually sets the fastest lap there at 57.7. The times are starting to come down, and that is why he's catching Prime Call, not because Prime Call's doing badly or anything. He's actually dropped Whipperman by a second as well. Here comes Owen on Max. He's less than a second away now. He's actually finally in slipstream range. Max actually looking pretty quick down this straight. This is Pegasus versus Aero GT. So the top 5 are all drivers in teams that are fighting for those final 2 spots, P4 and P5, before the cutoff. The cutoff happens after next week's race, before we head into the final 2 rounds of the season. So we'll be saying goodbye to 3 teams. At the moment, V2 and Project Racing United occupy the bottom 2 spots, and then there's a bit of a gap, and it's very close between Kabar, Pegasus and Aero GT, who all have drivers in this battle here. Looks like Owen made a little bit of a mistake on the infield section, and Max is back up to a second, but then Max made a mini mistake of his own, and Owen's all of a sudden under a second again, and now over a second. It's going back and forth between these two. Looks like maybe the aero settings are slightly different on these cars. Let's scroll through some of these guys. So Whipperman's going to have probably be the first, and Kyokan to come into the pits. Kyokan's going to have to put on mediums for the rest of the race, so that's going to be potentially painful for him. He's only got a 2.6 gap on Whipperman, who's going to put on some softs probably at the same time as Kyokan when they come out the pits. So Whipperman's got a great chance to challenge and overtake Kyokan and build a bit of a gap on an undercut with soft tyres to, well, in what he would hope would be to fend off Max and Owen, who probably be a little bit quicker once they're back on soft tyres. Looks like Owen's had a dodgy lap there, but down in the 59s, Auto a 58.3, closed up nicely. He's only half a second behind at the moment and in slipstream. Probably not going to be able to get an overtake done into turn 1, but this is for sure Auto's best race of the season. Still mixing it up at the top. Only 12 seconds off the lead of the race at the moment. In with a shot of a podium, that's for sure. But Owen is getting in his way a little bit in this infield section, so Auto's got to try and find a way around. He does have better straight line speed in the Alfa Romeo. But he's having a bit of a dodgy time. Maybe the dirty air got in his way. Give him the benefit of the doubt, but he's clattering these walls. He's giving himself a bit of damage with that last one as well. So that challenge to Owen is over for now. Owen's still over a second behind Max. He's probably not going to get slipstream for this next one. Whipperman is catching up to Kyokan pretty quickly here. Kyokan going very deep into the last corner as well. Maybe the tyres are starting to go off and he's not adjusting his driving and his braking points sufficiently. But this is looking good for Whipperman. I think they've probably got one more lap, both of them, before we come into the pits, unless Kyokan decides to come in. It doesn't look like he is. No, he has. And Whipperman's come in as well. So here we go. The second phase of pit stops is open, and we've got 12 laps until the end of the race. Owen comes in as well. He wants to get off these mediums. He's going to be able to put in a lot less fuel than these guys, but they do have a 5-second gap. So when he comes out, he will be pretty close to the back of them. I don't think it's going to be enough. He's putting in quite a bit of fuel, actually. All of them need to put in a bit of fuel to make it to the end. Owen's gone for 100%, so he's pushing as hard as he can on this last stint. I don't think 100 was necessary, and that might have actually stopped him from getting a position or two there. If he put in 77 or like Whipperman, he'd be ahead of him, I think. So here we go. Kyokan on the mediums has to fend off for the rest of the race Whipperman and Owen and everyone else who is going to be pitting shortly, because I think that he'll stick ahead of them. He's got a 1 second lead over Whipperman right now. That's going to come down pretty quickly, I reckon. These guys don't have to come in for a while. Turbo Boy can stay out for a very long time if he chooses to. But I have a feeling that the softs, you can get the 12 laps out of the softs, and you should if you can. Let's see what Prime Call's going to do. He's got a fair few laps in him on these mediums. He's got an 11-second gap between himself and Max. He's definitely not coming in. We're looking a little bit low for Max on fuel, but I think he's got another lap in him. Yep, he carries on. Auto Ration looks like he's diving into the pits though. Nope, he's carrying on for one more. What about Turbo? Our last before we hit the the 2 stops. There we got Whipperman, who's actually already overtaken Cowcan. We actually missed the overtake, so it happened a lot earlier than expected. And now we've got Cowcan, who might try and get his own back, but something that's a bit more likely to happen is Owen getting past Cowcan on this lap. They don't have anyone coming out the pits to worry about. Owen 7/10 down at the moment. He is heavier on fuel, which isn't going to help, and Cowcan does have that slipstream on Whipperman. He's actually trying a move on Whipperman around the outside into turn 1. Let's see if he can get it done. Is he fully ahead? I can't tell. There's Whipperman, and behind him is Owen catching up pretty quickly as well, so Cowcan does get the move done pretty well there. He must have very low downforce on that car for the Renault to shoot past like that. Oh, he's made a mistake though. This is going to be Whipperman's chance to get that position back very easily, and that's exactly what he needed to do, because now he can really lean on these soft tyres and build a gap to Cowcan before the pit straight. And it's Owen's opportunity as well to get this position. If he can put a bit of pressure on Cowcan might be forced into an error just like he there, where he grazes the wall. Owen's got alongside now. This might be one of the easier overtakes of the night in a really tricky part of the track, and Owen gets it done. He's lost 1.7 to Whipperman getting that done, but now he can focus on pounding in the laps and trying to avoid an overcut from the guys who remain out. But yeah, is Prime Call coming in? It looks like he is finally coming in to make his final stop. Max a long way back. He's fallen to 12.8 seconds back on Prime Call. He's coming in to make his final stop now as well. Auto Ration has to, because he's on 0, and he actually makes it perfectly. Turbo Boy staying out. He's going to actually lead the race for the first time in eSports, just because there comes Prime Call. That was very close. He would have been ghosted, but that would have scared Turbo Boy a little bit, seeing him appear so close. So Turbo Boy leads on his debut. He's putting in pretty good recovery drive for Pegasus. We've got 2 Pegasus boys, well, there were 2 in the top 3, but Max is coming out of the pits now. He's going to get overtaken by Owen and Cowcan by the looks of things as well. He hasn't got much of a chance here. And then behind is Eroticos, who is going to start to close in as well. And Auto Ration's actually come out behind Eroticos. So I don't know what's happened there, but Eroticos has really recovered well to get himself back into the points. I completely had written him off, but it's not over yet. So the only person left to pit now is Turbo Boy. He's got a 4.3 lead on Prime Call at the moment, but as we know, that is going to disappear and then some. Prime Call's got a 9.8 gap on Whipperman, who's still got his 1.7 lead on Owen. Then we've got a really close battle between Cowcan and Max. This is Project Race United by Pegasus versus a Pegasus driver, and let's see how easy. Oh, it was a bit too easy actually. Should put up a bit more of a fight there. But Max is up into P5. And Cowcan's strategy kind of falls apart at this point, because he's on the mediums now for the rest of the race. These guys should comfortably drive away from him. P6 might be protected because Eroticos is on a little bit worn of medium tyres, unless he needs to make another pit stop, but I don't think he does. Well, actually, he might need to splash and dash because everyone else has significantly more fuel than him. So, unfortunately, I think he might not be getting points. What about Turbo Boy? Is he coming in yet? No, he's carried on again. He's lapping in the 59s quite solidly at the moment. And yeah, Prime Call is closing the gap on him. So it looks like it's very comfortable at the moment for Prime Call to get his first ever win in eSports. Whipperman, it looks really solid to get a podium, but he's got Owen for company. These are 2 BMWs, so BMW versus BMW. The only change would be how they chose to set up their Aero for the race, and obviously brake balance as well. Cowcan sticking to the back of Max pretty well here, actually. Not let him get away. And then Auto's got a bit of work to do. Because he was up with those guys. I'm not entirely sure why he's down in 8th right now. I don't understand what's happened to Auto Ration. He's quite a long way off of the guys that he was racing with. Did he just pit too late, potentially? I'm not sure. Must have made a mistake. Let's see his lap times. 204, 22, 204. Yeah, he did. He lost about 6 seconds on his outlap somewhere. So, where is the battling? Come on, give us a show. Owen's dropped to 2 seconds behind Whipperman. Bottling this final stint on his soft tyres. He should be the quickest guy on the track. Really? What about Turbo Boy? He could still do another lap here. He'll be very quick in this final stint on his soft tyres because everyone else's are already a little bit worn. Must be nice to see all of the drivers that are quite a long way behind you on that straight, only separated by a thin barrier. Here comes Turbo Boy, definitely coming into the pits, isn't he? Yep, there he goes. So it'll be interesting to see where he comes out. Prime Call is going to retake the lead of the race once again for Aero GT. We got a fair gap to Kavar's driver Whipperman, who is going to be promoted to P2 there. Then we got looks like 2 Aero drivers on the podium with Owen in P3. Max is going to get Turbo Boy P4, as is Kyokan. Here comes Turbo Boy. He's going to get overtaken by Auto Ration potentially. Let's ride on board with Auto. He's got the overspeed. Turbo's really slow coming out of the pits here, so he shouldn't really have too much trouble. There goes Auto. It's quite substantial, the overspeed coming out of the pits. And there's Auto Ration from outside of the points back into 6th because Rotikos has come into the pits as well. So it's looking for a bit of a rough night for V2. The only driver in the points is Auto, and he's on course for 2 points there. But yeah, Turbo Boy 21 seconds off lead at the moment, but has a good chance to pick off some drivers because look at his absolutely fresh mediums. Auto Rations are already around about 10% worn, and if he starts to overheat them, he's going to struggle, or if he just goes really wide there, he's going to struggle as well. Looks like he actually gained time on Turbo Boy. Turbo maybe a bit too ginger around that corner compared to Auto's more aggressive style. Potentially going to be a bad night for Pegasus as well. 1 point for Turbo Boy, and then a P4 for Max, and Asseldor's in 13th, currently in Lobby A. So that's not many points for Pegasus. When you compare it to Kavar, they've got Whipperman here in P2, and then Hollywood's in 8th, and I can't see where Lotari is, but that is definitely an outscoring for Kavar on Pegasus, and that's going to really close the gap between those two. Owen in P3 and Prime Call in P1, he is great for Aero GT, who are also in this battle. And then El Ian, I can't see where he is, he's not in the top 8 though, so will still be contributing good points nonetheless because he's in Lobby A. So that's going to be a good night for Kavar and Aero, and a bad one for, excuse me, Pegasus. It'll be a very good night for Project Racing United because Baba Yaga is currently P6 in Lobby A, with Koken in 5th place as well, getting some points for Project Racing United. They might be able to overtake V2 with that haul. I reckon they will actually. P6 in Lobby A is a lot of points. So that'll be a nice little result for Project Racing United if they can finish the season not in last place as the junior team for Pegasus. Trying out some new drivers to Pegasus, and some of them seem to be pretty quick. Some of them have struggled as well, but Max is behind Owen. We've missed an overtake there. Unfortunate for Max. I think maybe he made a mistake because Owen is now in 3rd place. No, we saw the overtake. What am I talking about? Jesus Christ. Short-term memory loss. Anyway, so it's looking good for Owen. He's got so much fuel, Jesus. He is absolutely revving out the car though. And he's 2.9 behind Whipperman. Whipperman's tyres are very, very slightly more worn than Owen's. He's got 2.8 to find in. He's got more than enough time to do it. We've got a lot of laps to go still. And yeah. Could still be a 1-2. Owen's done a unique strategy. Lost a lot of track position through it. But might still be a 1-2 for Aero. But Owen's lost a little bit of time there through the infield section, well, through the first couple of corners, and now Max is only 2/10 behind him. So Max got a chance of getting his, I think it might be his first, well, it'll be his first podium of the season in Lobby B. I'm not sure about last season, because I didn't commentate in Lobby B. Oh, no, 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 no. And there's damage. So let's see that here comes Kyoken, who was about 4 seconds back previously. Kyoken should get this position. Although he's arrived at an awkward part of the track. We're in the twisty section where you can't really overtake. And Max just has to hang on for another couple of corners until the damage runs out. And the damage is finally gone, so Max can start to gap Kyoken again. Autoration, meanwhile, is actually catching up to these two quite nicely. Just set his fastest lap of the race, which is half a second off of Kyoken's best time. I'm expecting to see that fastest lap time come down towards the end of the race now that everyone's on fairly low fuel. Most of the grid are on soft tyres as well. And Turbo Boy's not too far away from Auto as well, so we might see Kyoken actually drop back from 5th to potentially 7th before the end of the race. But that would just be the logic of the tyres, but he's actually got a lot of speed on Max at the moment. He's probably going to go for the overtake here. He absolutely is. He's going to get fully ahead before the corner as well, isn't he? Absolutely nothing Max can do about that. Max is going to try and get in the slipstream and get some overspeed himself. Ooh, that was some good driving into turn 1, and Max gets P4 again. This is going to help, well, it was going to help Auto, but he clatters the exit of turn 1. Can these guys avoid the walls long enough to actually make some progress up the grid and get some solid points? Because you talk about 1 and 2 points in P6 and P7. Then it starts to get good after that. Kyoken struggling through the middle section. Let's see how Owen's doing. He's 2.8 off the back of Whipperman still. Not really closing in. Lapping very similarly. 59.2 for Owen, 59.1 for Whipperman. Owen lost a bit of time through there, about 4/10 as well. So this is the closest battle on track, actually. The mediums of Kyoken seeming to be, oh, he's just driving better maybe than Max at this stage of the race. Last hairpin. We've only got 4 laps left now. Whoa. Nothing that Kyoken could do just yet, but I'll tell you who is starting to get into slipstream range. It is the Genesis X of Turbo Boy versus the Alfa Romeo 4C of Autoration. In the battle for P6, he does have some overspeed. Once you start getting below 1.2 seconds, that is when the slipstream faintly starts to kick in, and then it starts to kick in a lot more as you get under the 1 second range, which he's not been able to do on the straight. So Auto's actually extending in the top end of 6th gear. So that's interesting to know. Potentially he has more, or less downforce, sorry, than Turbo Boy has. Still around about a second. Turbo Boy is actually purple though. But this is where the time is won and lost through this section. Auto really gingered through there, lost a couple of tenths to Turbo Boy. Now he is well within slipstream range, so this is absolutely perfect for Turbo Boy. If he can tee Auto up for the rest of the lap, Auto hits the wall again, but seems to get away with it. And really smooth there for Turbo Boy, gains another tenth on Auto. Now this is a bit of a tricky one. And this one as well. Auto hits the wall again, and this is definitely the closest Turbo Boy's been all race long. He's got fresher tyres as well than Auto. Right, the hairpin. Half a second is the gap through the hairpin. Now it's a question of who can get a better exit. Oh, it looks like it's got to Turbo actually. Auto got a better first phase of the exit, and now Turbo Boy's definitely got the overspeed. I expect he can overtake here. Let's ride on. Let's watch Auto and Turbo as they finish lap 25 out of 28. And that is a 58.7 for Auto compared to a 58.2 for Turbo Boy. The gap now at half a second. He's not actually closing in as much as I'd expected. Thought he'd be alongside at this point, but Auto's really done well with his aero tuning by the looks of things, and is still comfortably ahead heading into turn 1. So not much Turbo Boy could do there. Let's go a little bit ahead and see if anything is happening. Owen struggling to catch up to Whipperman, and I think all of that is due to how much extra fuel he put on. I think it would be a 1-2 if he calculated his fuel a bit better in pre-race on what he was going to do strategy-wise. Prime call with an 11.5 second lead. That's absolutely phenomenal. He was actually only called in today to race. So minimal practice, just a dominant win there. Looks like Autoration and Turbo Boy are having a real go at it now. Let's ride on board with Turbo Boy. Auto's still got the position for now. Looks like things might start getting hairy soon. This is the Tier 4 champion Autoration versus Turbo, who's making his debut here, but he's been in Tier 2 for well over a year now in Monday League. Won multiple races, actually won a race this season already in Tier 2 as well. So potentially had higher expectations than P7 at this stage of the race, but he did have that spin, which I highly doubt was his fault. Maybe we'll see it in the steward's room. Whoa, that might be his challenge over. Big mistake on the exit there. Tail slaps the barriers, and that's gonna make him drop multiple seconds, well, at least 2 more seconds, I reckon, from Auto before the next corner. Now let's see what else is happening. Everyone from P3 down is fairly close. You can see everyone from behind Owen's wing coming down the hill here, all the way down to Turbo Boy actually. Yeah, Owen's struggling on this straight, 8 tenths down on his best time so far. His tyres are looking pretty shoddy. Max actually catching up to him pretty fast here, so I don't know what's going on with Owen, but it looks like he's potentially overheating his tyres, losing a lot of time. He did a 59.9 on the previous lap, that's 1.5 seconds down on Max. He seems to be struggling with his tyres. Max is in slipstream range now as well, so this P3 for Aero GT is definitely under threat in these last couple of laps. Here we go, this is a great chance for Max. He's now 0.6 of a second down, but he seems to be enjoying this infield section so much more as Prime Call's just gone round the hairpin to start his final lap. There he goes on the other side of the track. Now he's definitely in slipstream. We've got 1 more lap to go. The question is 7 tenths enough with how they both set up their cars for downforce to get an overtake done. He's in the slipstream. The gap is closing for sure. The gap is now under 6/10. He's really gaining now, under 5/10. He's got a great chance here into turn 1. Owen's going to have to go incredibly defensive if he wants to keep this position. He's going to try and do it around the outside. Owen might not even have enough to fight him here. Fully ahead before turn 1, unless Owen breaks late, and he does. He wants to keep that position, and he actually makes the corner pretty well. Actually, he's got deep on the exit, and Max is just going to say thank you very much for that P3. He started P10, and now he's up into the podium positions. Really good performance tonight for Max. Owen, unfortunately, I think his the way he was treating his tyres was his downfall. He's got 1.9 on Kyokan, who's got very fresh mediums. This is the part of the race where it might start coming to him, but he's got Autoratio not too far behind him as well. And Owen might actually go for Max again, because he stayed close in the infield section. It's not over yet for this P3. Here we go. He's not been able to close the gap sufficiently, but let's stick with Prime Call, because he is going to take such a dominant victory, actually, in the Nissan GTR today. Not really looked in trouble of not winning for the entire race. Started P2, wins the race with a fantastic performance there for Prime Call. Definitely one of his strongest that I've ever seen in ALR. I've commentated a lot of his races. Whiffman on his debut, a really solid P2. Plenty of points, that's 10 points contributed to the cause for Cav. Max in P3 after that last lap overtake, really good for Max. Owen P4 in the end. Kyokan in 5th with his alternate strategy to everyone else. Then we got Turbo Boy in 6th. Autoration's had some sort of issue. Did he run out of fuel potentially? He did. And he ends up 7th. And then we're going to have Eroticos in 8th. Owen's already left the lobby. I guess he's not happy with his performance if he's already left. This is definitely his worst performance in eSports. Eroticos, are you going to finish the race? There we go. And Long Chicken just completely off the boil. Look at that. Lap 23 to 27 in 2 minutes on these medium tyres. Only 1 lap in the 59s in the last 10, actually. So he's got a lot of pace to find. Maybe has a bit of work to do to get to eSports level, because I think that kind of performance is just going to put you at the back consistently. You're going to struggle to score points. So that's it. That was a good one, actually. Really tight battle for the podium positions, but the race win was never in any doubt, that's for sure. Prime Call with a very dominant victory for Aero GT. It says Owen's P9, but he's not. He's actually in P4. So, that's your lot. Thanks for watching, guys. Next week, where are we? The final race before the split. The dreaded split. We've got Alsace, a very high tyre wear track. Should really suit MR cars specifically. So yeah, that'll be an exciting one. So join us then. There's a lot on the line there.